Samlin, I'm Ash. Let me show you my live setup that I've been using to play gigs in Japan. So I've been living in Japan for a good few years, and I was very lucky when I first came here that I bumped into another British guy who loved the same bands as me and played drums. Lovely. So why not start a band? We were young, dumb, with pockets full of gum. I love guitar gear, and I'm sure you do too, otherwise you wouldn't really be watching my videos. And through all the years I've found of buying gear, buying cabinets, selling cabinets, is that I really need to look at the big picture. Firstly, I've never been in a successful band or had a hit song. This is not me telling anyone how to live their life. Spend your money how you wish. But in this day and age, with amp sims and programmed drums, if you can sing, you really don't need anyone else. Just learn some basic recording techniques, a DAW, and you're good. I feel that unless you're willing to be a team player in a band and collaborate with others, it's not really worth it anymore. And I say this because I originally started out in my career wanting to be a recording engineer. And it wasn't until I realized that the job was 90% being Jerry Springer, except you're Jerry, but you don't have anyone in your ear telling you what to say or what to do. You just have to handle all the drama, that I really lost interest in that. But my interest was picked up when my friends asked me to play bass for them, since there was literally no one else there. I thought, why not? Nothing else to do. Even then I didn't really take it seriously until after one gig we played in a local pub where we played our set, and I went to watch the other band in the audience, and a girl in front of me turned around, clocked me, and proceeded to put my arms around her waist like an American prom night photo. And look at me back then. It was the bass, 100%. So after a while being in a few bands, playing bass and learning how to play guitar a bit, I really wanted to just record my own music, and that's all I've ever wanted to do. Being in a band is fun, but I never really wanted to do live shows and things like that. It was just a byproduct of, wanting to record. This was all around 2007 to 2010, where programmed drums and amp sims just weren't really that good, or at least I didn't know about them. And, that was back in the day. But it is not this day. It is 2023, and Sauron's forces have finally attacked the realm of tube amps and mic'd drums. The new Realmancer and their orcs bagging their get good drums are on the way. My band now is a clean vocal rock band where my guitar tone really isn't the reason why anyone would be listening in the first place. If you're Steve Vai, fair enough, your tone really does matter. But in my case, no one would really care how 3D my tone was. I've been down the massive pedal board route, and it really wasn't adding to anything, only my addiction to gear. Being able to turn up to a gig or band practice and set up in 5 minutes just makes things much easier for everyone. So I've sold all my amps cabinets and I've gone completely digital. At home I use STL tones and Neural DSP along with Line 6 sometimes. And for the band I've been using the GT-1000 core, and I'll tell you why. Even though my mother won't speak to me and my dad thinks I'm a fag. And this is the board that I've been using for gigs and band practice. Myself and the other guitar player in the band has one, and it has made life so much easier. We turn up to practice, plug in, it takes 2-3 minutes. Playing gigs, same thing, no hassle. So today I'm just going to explain simply my setup, and then in the future I will go into more depth if you want it. Please comment below if you want that. So the GT-1000 has all the amps, cabinets and sounds in here. Now, this goes to the front of house when we play gigs, and it also goes to my stage amp, but it could be any amp. Basically, you plug this into this DI box right here. Most live venues have DI boxes, but I just like having one on the board just because it makes it much easier. No dangly wires or anything like that. So it goes into here. So then when I play shows, I just go to the sound guy, he plugs into the output and goes straight to front of house. On this particular unit it has two outputs, a main output and a sub output. The main output here, which is actually going to the amp on stage, which I just plug into the return in the send and return, and I can control the volume here. Whereas this one, which goes to front of house, I can't accidentally control the volume and hit it and mess up. The expression pedal here, mini pedal, is connected to here via a TRS cable, and I can literally just make it do whatever I want. If I want to control more reverb, just tap it. If I want to add a little bit of, you know, flanger or whatever, on and off, wah pedal, whatever, all the built-in effects that are in here is controlled here. And then this one here, which is the Boss FS7, I use it just for switching between songs. So in a patch, you can see there's 3 buttons here, but I've programmed these to basically, for example, this one just switches between heavy and clean. This one is for a special effect. It's all depending on the song, which I'll go into in the future. But my patches are all song by song, one song of the set. And the last one here can be, you know, whatever you want it to be. The tuner, you just press in these 2 together at the same time. This is just for switching between each song. So all the choices out there, you know, Neural DSP, Helix, Kemper, Axe-Fx, all those ones, yes, I understand. Those are really high quality. The Boss GT-1000 I think is very high quality too. The main reason why I went with the GT-1000 core is because I just wanted to have a really streamlined pedal board, nothing bulky. If I buy the main unit or, you know, the Kemper or whatever, I just wanted to have as small as possible rig that I could have. I can carry on my shoulder with the guitar and I'm done. Another reason is that Roland is this company and I'm in Japan. I used to have an ES5, Boss ES5, and I accidentally broke it because I plugged in the wrong thing at the wrong time while I was chatting, and I sent it to Boss. They sent me a new one completely free. So it just makes sense to me that being in the country where this thing is made just makes sense. And it's readily available. If it ever broke down, these are not that expensive, so you know, it wouldn't be terrible if it did break and I had to buy something else. If I had Axe-Fx or Kemper, you know, those are a little bit more expensive, a little bit more difficult to replace, and I just, you know, I don't need that hassle. This isn't a GT-1000 core is better than this video. I'm just saying what I use and why I use it. Originally, I did buy the XL Stomp Line 6, but the limited DSP on there was a bit of a problem for me because I need to use 2 amps and heavy and clean. I tried doing the whole like turn the gain down on one and it just wasn't. This GT-1000 is instant patch changes. You can pretty much have as many effects as you want all the time. It is instant, no lag, no delay. It's great. One of the negatives is, of course, the display looks like a 90s Tamagotchi, which, you know, it's to cut costs and stuff like that. Boss usually goes for this kind of, you know, original, I don't know what they call it. They have their own. You really need to plug into the editor to really figure out how to use everything. And once you do that, it's very, very simple. It also does have unbalanced output, so you know, if you have a really long cable it might be a problem, but that's why I use the DI box, which solves that. Another point too is that in Japan the live houses here are incredible. Even the small venues are equipped with a, you know, a guy who usually knows what he's doing, good equipment, and you just turn up and you just say, hey, this is the input, and the guy's like, okay, no problem. There's no like boomerisms here and where they're like, oh my god, where's the tube amp? Nothing like that. The whole point of this video is just, you know, to show that you can have a very small rig and to be able to play gigs and have no problem. I love amps and things like that, but as I've grown older, I realized I just, instead of just focusing on me and what I want to do, thinking of the whole band and, oh, what would be better? Because for our rehearsals, we would rehearse for 2 hours, you know, twice a week or something. And, you know, we spend about 20-25 minutes setting up, you know, and it's just eating into the time. And, you know, with this, it's made things much, much easier. And just as most things, these things sound good if you just put the time in. Everything, Axe-Fx and those things, you know, they do sound good, but you know, you have to, if you put a little bit of effort into it, they will be fine. It all depends on what you care about. Do you just care about standing on stage and your tone and you know, screw the other guys, or do you want to be in a band and work together? Going digital with a small setup like this has just made things much better, much easier, and I actually enjoy playing gigs now because it's just stress-free. Turn up, plug in, and done. That's it. If you do want to hear my sounds and how I've rigged it up to go with every song in my set list, comment below and let me know. Anyway, that'll do.